Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Pandaren Update. Well, unless you consider it special. Not only is this episode the Christmas special, not only is it a Pandaren Update, but it's also the very last video of 2020. And I know you're questioning, well, wasn't there a best of montage that was supposed to be happening? I will get to that in a moment, but I just want to open the video by saying Merry Christmas to everybody. This is a very, very special video, just kind of ending the year and seeing where the next year takes us. So with that, I just want to briefly go over some of the things that you can expect from this video, because I know we do this every time. Some of the things we'll be going over, things like, the recap on content trailers, because, we gotta have recaps on that. Just kind of going over developments, discussing when Let's Talk before the shows will be coming out, which I'll get to here in a little bit as well. Going over some stuff on E.X.E files, just explaining where E.X.E files is currently. As mentioned from the previous Pandaren update with the cancellation of E.X.E files, I did say that by the time this one came, I'd make a decision on scenarios, all that jazz, so we'll get to that as well. We'll also go over some social media stuff, pretty basic stuff, you see it every time. And the big ones, we'll be going over just a recap on 2020. Going over each series in depth and explaining some of the positives, the negatives, the pros and cons of this year, and lastly, moving into next year. Discussing all the new changes and things that are going to be happening and whatnot, because let's be real, there's a lot that's happening next year, and a lot of things are going to be different from this year to next year, so I can't wait to get to that segment. And of course, just a normal, basic goal segment for next year, and of course our outro. So with that, because this is a Christmas special, go ahead and grab your nice warm glass of milk, that's if it's warm. Grab your cookies, and maybe grab a nice comfy chair, and let's get into, quite literally, the last video of 2020, Pandaren Update number 6. So let's just get to the first segment of this update video, and that is the recap on content trailers. If you've been around on the channel the last week or so, or a little bit over a week and a half, you'll probably seen 4 specific videos, including Minecraft is Here to Stay, The Universal 5 Volume 2, Discover and Create, and ModGear Season 3 all have trailers that premiered over the course of December 18th to December 21st. We're just going to go over some basic recap on these trailers, some development stuff, and to clear up a couple of things that might be, misconceptions, and just answer some questions in case anyone's confused. So let's start with the Minecraft trailer. Minecraft is Here to Stay. There's a couple of things in this trailer that definitely are off. 2 in particular I'll go ahead and talk about now. The first is, you might have noticed that, it says Pandaren Productions Presents, all that, and then it gets to, in association with 3 question marks. What does that mean? What that means is, well, as mentioned a few months ago in the previous Pandaren update, E.X.E Files was cancelled due to a bunch of reasons, and I highly recommend you go watch that video if you don't know why E.X.E Files was cancelled, because, trust me, it's a good one. But because E.X.E Files was cancelled, it'd be kind of weird if what it was supposed to say, which is it's supposed to say E.X.E Headquarters, it'd be kind of weird if that was there instead, so instead I just made it blank, because I didn't want to be like in association with and just nothing there, because it seemed kind of weird. So 3 question marks made a bit more sense. The other thing that's definitely been oddball with this episode is a bit later on, towards the end of the trailer, before it pans to the shot of, Minecraft returning on the 18th of January, there's a scene where we're in a graveyard, and there's a very particular laugh, there's a very particular sound that you might be able to hear in that episode that definitely brings up some alarm bells. Go ahead and roll the clip. So this particular, the reason why this is here is not because of E.X.E Files, per se. Does this mean E.X.E Files is coming back right now? No. I'll get to that when we get to the E.X.E Files segment of the episode to explain what that is, but it's not related to something like Flowey's coming to Minecraft videos or Undertale related stuff. It's nothing like that. It's not saying that E.X.E files is coming back anytime soon, because it isn't. Get to that in a moment. That's just more there to tease something. I'm not going to say what it is, but let's just say whatever it is teasing, it's not going to happen for like months and months and months down the line. We're talking at least a year from now. I'm just teasing a little bit. Just teasing a little bit, just to prepare. So just be aware of that. You can also be able to check out Let's Talk before the show for Minecraft when it premieres on Monday, January 4th of next year. It's the first video out next year. You can go check out all that for all of the things you need to know and learn about the show. Things like, upload schedules, types of videos, and collabs or something like that. Just those kind of things if you're interested in those things. Or if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. But make sure you can check out my Minecraft content makes its return on January 18th. Moving on to the Universal 5 Volume 2. This trailer was weird. It was a weird one to create, especially along with Discover and Create. We'll get to that in a bit. But when actually making the trailer, and as you'll see in Let's Talk Before the Show, when early development hits in, this trailer was hard to make. And making the second season, at least in the current moment right now, is tricky. Because turns out, I used a lot of the good Universe Sandbox videos for Season 1. So there isn't really that much to work with now. But we're going to work with it anyway. And yes, to conclude, the Universal 5 in its second season, aka Volume 2, is going to be the show's last and final season, because there just isn't enough Universe Sandbox videos to cover it. So therefore, just enjoy it, and you'll be sure to check out Let's Talk Before the Show for the Universal 5 Volume 2 when it launches on Wednesday, January 6th, to get an idea of the upload schedules, the videos themselves you'll be seeing, because there are only 5 specific episodes, and, stuff like that. And you'll be sure to make sure to watch the very first episode of the Universal 5 when it premieres on Wednesday, January 20th. Moving on to Discover and Create, probably one of my more enjoyable videos, because, let's be honest, it had 2001: A Space Odyssey playing through it, and as of the time of recording this video, that trailer hasn't come out yet, but the fact remains that it's still great, and I just love incorporating that music. Shout out to the copyright claims. Anyways, this trailer was... well, it was weird to make. And one of the biggest things that I'll go ahead and throw out now, before we get to Let's Talk Before the Show, which comes out in a few weeks, is that Discover and Create is actually tied in a kind of like a lore story way to another series on this channel. A series that hasn't really properly had an episode in a very long time. If you're someone who enjoys space content, has been on the channel for a few years, you'll probably heard of a little series called The Glory of Space Engine. A series of Space Engine videos that are basically just cinematics of planets in the procedurally generated game that Space Engine is. I believe there's about 7, maybe 8 videos of this series altogether, as well as a few Space Engine cinematics like missing files. If you had a keen eye on that trailer, you probably would have noticed that there was references to the Orion space probe, and a probe that was actually first, documented and actually seen in film in missing files, as well as a few other cinematics from the Glory of Space Engine series. That should also give you the idea that the Glory of Space Engine and Discover and Create are essentially both happening in the same universe. Unlike something like, for instance, Minecraft and ModGear, for instance, they're not in the same universe. They're two completely different series, two completely different times. But Discover and Create and the Glory of Space Engine, same kind of timeline. They're happening at the same time. They're in the same world, basically. So hopefully that's interesting to you guys, but trust me, this trailer's great, and I can't wait for the series when it premieres much later down the line. But if you want to check out its Let's Talk Before the Show, make sure to check out when it premieres on Friday, January 8th. That's going to go over a lot of stuff like scheduling, what the episodes are going to be, that kind of thing. And you would expect Discover and Create to premiere much later down the line on Friday, September 10th of next year. And finally, the last trailer, ModGear Season 3. This trailer was a lot of fun to make. I really enjoyed making this trailer. It was so fun actually playing Garry's Mod again, because I haven't played Garry's Mod since ModGear finished, basically. But there's definitely some things that could have been better with the trailer. There is some minor parts, and if you had a keen eye also, ModGear's trailer wasn't scripted. Unlike all the other trailers, with Discover and Create having actual handwritten scripts, like pretty much every scripted video of mine, ModGear wasn't scripted. And that was because originally it never was meant to be scripted, because I just didn't feel like it needed to be scripted. Granted, there was multiple different iterations of ModGear's trailer that were going to occur, but I ended up choosing the one that you guys saw on live, of course, because it's not necessarily easier, but it's more impacting. The music itself's more impacting, the actual footage is more impacting, and trust me, that thumbnail is pretty good. You can check out ModGear's Let's Talk Before the Show when it premieres on Monday, January 11th, and for when the series premieres later this year on May 14th. And trust me, ModGear's definitely got some very big plans in store, and trust me when I say, and especially on Twitter as I said it, Season 3 is planned to be the show's biggest season yet, and you'll definitely see why when it premieres later this year. And now we can move into one of the few, and one of the many, interesting segments of this video, and that is E.X.E files. A brief recap on E.X.E files, just for those who may not have known. E.X.E files was cancelled in September due to a multitude of reasons, things like time, lack of development, those kinds of things. The series then got put into one of 3 scenarios, which was Revive awaiting approval. This scenario basically states that the series gets put on a waiting list, and held to a time when it can be properly worked on and premiere as it should have. The other 2 scenarios, in case if you're interested, was the first scenario, Quick Revive, where the series would just get worked on in the span of 3 months and come back as fast as it could when the next Pandaren update came out. The third scenario, Dead End, has had some slight reworks since the last Pandaren update. In the previous Pandaren update in September, the Dead End scenario worked basically as, if a series entered Dead End status, it become a parts basket. In other series that I want to create, I can basically just borrow parts of E.X.E files to use for a new series. Dead End has now been slightly changed in the sense that, rather than becoming a parts basket, if a series just enters its Dead End status, it's dead. It's gone. We don't use it ever again, it's never heard of again. As mentioned in September's Pandaren update, I was in a toss-up, a 50-50 split between Scenario 2 and Scenario 3. And trust me, I definitely thought about it over the course of the last 3 months, and I've definitely given it a lot of thought. As of right now, E.X.E files is going to stay in Scenario 2, Revive awaiting approval. But there is some caveats to this problem. For one, what would the release date be? Well, as you've already seen, as of when this video goes out, and at the time of scripting this, E.X.E files will not premiere in 2021, because it's just physically not ready. In the moment, even still with extra 3 months of work, I haven't bothered to really pay much attention to the series, as I've been focusing a lot on current airing content and getting trailers ready, as well as this very video. As of right now, E.X.E files at the soonest could probably premiere in the early parts of 2022, or probably later on than that. But the reason for this is simple. Just because I want to work on the show, and I want to make it how it should be. But because E.X.E files has already suffered enough, and because the show has already been cancelled once and had gone over 4 major redesigns, at this point, a lot of things have changed. And that's because, well, a 5th redesign has come in. At this point, E.X.E files is just going to get rebuilt from the ground up. The show is basically just going to get deleted, basically, and rebuilt, with the sole intent of making it relatively as close to its original as possible, but still incorporating the modern bits that were supposed to premiere this year. To put it bluntly, roughly around 80% of the content that was planned to premiere for E.X.E files this year has been scrapped, and most of the show is being rebuilt from the ground up. So when the show does premiere, probably at least another year, maybe 2, possibly even 3 years from now, it's not going to be how it was originally designed to be. It's not going to be anywhere near it was originally planned to be, because I just can't make a series that's this complicated. ModGear Season 2 was enough to handle, and this was worse. This was a lot worse. But that basically just covers where E.X.E files is right now. It's staying in Scenario 2, it's still on the waiting list, it's just not going to premiere for a very, very long time. And when it does premiere, it's not going to be the same series anymore, as it's being rebuilt from the ground up to make it appropriate for what I can actually manage. So don't say that E.X.E files is dead, because it's not. It's just going to be dormant for quite some time until the time's right. Until I have proper time to make it air properly, and have time to work on it enough so that it can come out and I can finally show you the series, because I've wanted to do it for years. With that now out of the way, we can now just go into some brief social media reminders, basically. Just, basic reminders. This happens every Pandaren update. It's nothing major, nothing insane. But just making sure that if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, go follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty sure it's Panda PS in capitals, _YT. The YT is also capital, and P in the Panda is capital too, I guess, or something. Might leave a link, and I'll probably leave a link to it down in the description. You can check the trailer descriptions as well. It's also there. And probably on the channel homepage on the banner, it's also there as well. Probably in the About page too. It's pretty much everywhere. If you guys want to keep up to date on pretty much any major series development, whether it be ModGear Season 3, the Universal 5, Minecraft, or just random crap posting, Twitter's the place to find it. That's where I post all of my stuff at. So go check out Twitter if you're interested. Aside from that, there's not a lot of social media stuff going on. I've noticed that a lot of the comments of "you want to be friends" have disappeared, so hooray, guess that worked. But aside from that, that's all of that, and now we can move into the long part. The long part. Yeah, yes, I know, it's been 15 minutes. We're not, this is calling it the long part. Now's the part where we kind of just sit down and relax. We relax and just kind of sit back and look at the year. A recap of 2020 and leaving the year behind. Now, granted, I know this year for not just myself, but a lot of people. It's been hard, especially with the coronavirus. It's been hard. A lot of people have lost loved ones. I myself have lost a few this year. Trust me, this year has not been fun, not just for myself on the YouTube side. Everyone's been struggling this year, and I definitely just want to leave this year behind. So to all the people who have suffered this year, you know, I'm there for you. There. That's the good. That's the best I can offer without sounding super cringy. But let's just go over the year on the YouTube side. Let's just go over the year individually. Let's start with Minecraft. What did I think of Minecraft this year? I know I've said this a lot in Let's Talk after the shows, but I'm just gonna reiterate it again because why not? Minecraft did exceptionally well this year, basically exceeding my expectations for what I had planned this series to be. Minecraft did very well. Its view counts were pretty much all over the place, kind of randomly. You know, sometimes it was 10, sometimes it was more like 19, sometimes it was 20, sometimes it was 30, sometimes it was 40. You never know. But I think the series did well. You know, the videos were doing really well, and a lot of the videos were really good. They were really funny, and especially having the midgets in there as well, which, you know, I'll get to that in a little bit when, you know, Let's Talk before the show gets here, a little bit later on in a few weeks. But trust me, these videos were really good, and some of the best videos this year have come from Minecraft, and honestly, like, I want to improve Minecraft videos, and you'll see that why I'm going to do that next year. That just covers that side. Yeah, I know, I'm rambling. Weird, it's weird. What about Panda's Lost Episodes? What about that? Since Panda's Lost Episodes has been gone now for almost half a year now, Panda's Lost Episodes does have its pros, and it has its cons. The pros was it was definitely a nice way to remaster older videos. Videos that had never come to the channel before. Videos that just never quite saw the light of day. To remaster those videos is definitely fun. A lot of those videos were really good, like the Glory of Space Engine, the very first episode with Left 4 Dead and survival challenges, some stuff with Gary's mod, some stuff with Sonic. There was a lot of good videos, but the problem I think with Panda's Lost Episodes, and this leads to the negative side, is the A and B format. I think this was kind of a really trashy format. I wouldn't say it's bad per se, but I just feel that it could have been better. But I felt like without the A and B format, it's like, how are you gonna get the normal, like, how are you gonna get the older videos that didn't premiere and the newer remastered videos together into one video? Like, it's not, because then the videos would be like 40 minutes long and it would just feel wrong. It would feel like the videos are too long. It would feel like a Pandaren update, basically. More importantly, I feel like if that was the case, then the videos would have probably had a similar upload schedule to the Pandaren Quadruple Classic, which just finished here a couple weeks ago. It would have probably been only going out once per month, and it would just feel wrong. Granted, it probably would have given me a little bit of a sigh of relief during those first 6 months of the year, as, again, I heavily regard them as the worst time on this platform for me, because of all the content I was creating. But I feel that that's just the only really negative. Series have positives, and they have negatives, but I think for Panda's Lost Episodes, the negative is just the way the videos were formatted, but the positives was that it definitely got some pretty good attention. The views were a bit low, though. So I don't know, I wouldn't really consider Panda's Lost Episodes to be a, quote, success. It was still good, but it's amenable. What about ModGear Season 2? Well, let's be real here. Season 2 was definitely a very, very big step up compared to Season 1. But that's more or less because of the fact that I actually, you know, I basically grew some nuts and decided to actually make ModGear properly. Now, again, ModGear did very well. Its views were pretty solid, the viewer retention was great, and some of the best videos of this year, like I said with Minecraft, also came from ModGear. And going into Season 3, as I'll get to before the show here in a couple weeks, a lot of Season 2's ideas are going to carry over because Season 2 just did very well. There are the positives really, again, did well. The format was really well too, and the custom bits, surprisingly, did really well. Yes, they had a lot of swearing, and I'll get to that a little bit later on as to what's swearing and all that. There was a lot of swearing in ModGear, but I honestly think that was actually a better solution, to actually have swearing in the videos, because it just made a lot more sense, because I feel like custom bits wouldn't be what they were if it didn't have it. But that's just me. There is some negatives to ModGear though, in that I felt the episodes could have been a lot cleaner. Yes, nowadays, especially back then, I was using really crappy, dodgy recording softwares and editing softwares, whereas now, as of more recent last month or two, swapped over to things like OBS, Sony Vegas. That's why the video quality's been a lot better recently. The videos have been a lot smoother. I would have definitely loved to make Season 2 of ModGear with OBS, because it would have looked better. And if you'll definitely see with Season 3, there's a very, very big difference in the way Season 2 and Season 3 look. They're very different. The only negative, I think, is just how the series was recorded in terms of software side, but I think ModGear Season 2 came out very, very well. It was a very good success. What about the Universal 5? The first season of the Universal 5 did very well. I mean, let's talk about that first episode with 40 views. Like, come on. The first season, it did very well. I mean, considering it's getting a second season, I'm pretty sure it did pretty well. There was the only downside, I think, the only negative side to the Universal 5 would be that I basically just I wish it could have been better. Yes, granted, the videos were pretty good in their own degree, but it just felt bland. It felt more like a Minecraft building tutorial than it did an actual Universe Sandbox video. And I think there's kind of some degree there of, well, I can't really necessarily, quote, live record those videos because it would just task more challenges into my work schedule, especially because it was during the summer. And during the summer, my sleep schedule was just completely shreked. So it probably would have been screwed over anyway. But making it a scripted series, it might have been a negative. And I think making the series how it was supposed to and how it ended up coming out could possibly be a negative. It has its positives in some degree, so it's like a 50-50. The Universal 5 is a debatable one. And the second season, as you'll get to before the show in a couple weeks, it's kind of lackluster. There's not a lot of videos to go off of, because a lot of the good ideas were blown in the first season. What about the Pandaren Quadruple Classic? What about this series? Well, it was essentially what Panda's Lost episodes could have been. I feel like Panda's Lost episodes could have been like this, but I think if Panda's Lost episodes kept its 2-week format and had like one video like the Quadruple Classic does, then Panda's Lost episodes would have ended a lot earlier, and the channel would have felt kind of bland. Yes, it could have helped me out in the long run, but you know, I'm weird. But Quadruple Classic was really good. A lot of the videos that came out were really solid, like Destruction Montage, Are We Alone in the Universe, are some of my favorites. I think something like the Quadruple Classic can happen again in the future. Again, as mentioned in Let's Talk After the Show about a week or two ago, it's a filler series, so I just need filler time. And honestly, we'll get to here in a little bit, 2021, it's full of a lot of filler content. But what are the positives and negatives of just the entire year? As a whole, the positives. I think I definitely made some pretty good choices on videos for certain Minecraft videos, like Survive the Hunt, Hide and Seek, you know, cross-server minigames like we had in August. I think video choice was a really good strong point on this channel, because it definitely helped gain the subscribers. Like, we passed 100 subscribers this year. That's something I didn't expect. Like, I didn't expect us to be at 115. This is the time when I'm recording this video. I didn't expect there to be 115 subscribers on this channel this year. So, clearly I did something right. Some of the negatives, though. I felt, especially in the last couple of months, I felt I could have been pushing out more content. Because I feel like, yes, granted, the first half of this year, there was a crap ton of content. During the summer, pretty solid amount of content, too. It's mainly due to the cancellation of E.X.E files in the last couple months that have really messed up the content flow. I would have loved to actually make a proper series that would premiere like every 2 weeks or every week or something, alongside other series. Because in the end, yes, there's a lot of content went out this year. As I said earlier, first 6 months of the year, probably the worst time I've had on this platform as a content creator, because of how much content I was creating. But then again, it worked. It worked either way, because, you know, we gained subscribers. It worked. The positives, good video choices. The negatives, again, mainly just the fact that I'm not pushing it all as much as I'd like. But one of the bigger negatives is more or less, I didn't collab with people. I'm not the kind of person that collabs with people based on their game choices. If you're going to come up to me and your channel is mostly centered around things like Fortnite content or Among Us, probably not going to play with you that much, because I don't like Fortnite. As I've said it in videos several times, Fortnite being an abomination to the human race, so I'm not even going to play that game, and I'm not even going to play with somebody who actually plays that game, because they're probably one of those really random nerds who's going over trick shots with bows and arrows or something. I think collabs definitely could have been a big part of this year, but they just weren't, because I just didn't want to collab with people, and I wanted to see what would a full year on this channel look like in a modern day scenario by a solo content creator. I think it worked, but just definitely expect in the next year, as I'll get to here in a moment, collabs are going to happen, just not as often. And now we get to the real big boy, the one that's going to be here a while, moving into 2021. What are changes coming into next year? What are some things that might be different? Things that might be leaving the channel, as well as the future of the channel as a whole, because, well, I've been thinking a lot about it, and I'd rather just discuss it here openly. So, changes are coming. Quite a lot of them, actually. To start, let's just go over with the basics. Everyone knows swearing. Swearing, you know, saying the F word. Saying, you know, you crapped yourself by using bad words, you know, racist slurs, all of that. You see those in my videos. You go back to ModGear and the custom bits, you're gonna see them. You know, you go back to the older Minecraft from PandaPowerSauce episode videos, you're gonna see them. Swearing has been a part of this channel pretty much near since day one. But there's a slight problem. Over the last, mainly this year especially, now that I've grown up a lot more and I'm actually making solidly good videos, I've been considering, is it worth putting swearing in everything? And I say everything in quotes. Is it worth it? I've had people tell me, like, yeah, you should remove swearing from your videos because you want to be more kid-friendly. I do want to be more kid-friendly. To grow this channel, I think kid-friendly content, things without swearing, is going to help boost this channel's numbers. And so, going into 2021, and for the foreseeable future, almost every video on the channel will not contain swearing. Now, why do I say almost? There's only one series on the channel that gains an exception to this rule. One series that does not, that will require swearing. One that can use it as much as it wants, and that series is ModGear. ModGear, basically, I don't want to, this is going to sound really cringy, but ModGear's custom bits and Star Showdowns kind of live off swearing to some degree to make them funny. So therefore, ModGear will be the only series on the channel, live premiering, that will contain swearing. Things like Minecraft videos, things like Universal 5, things like Discover and Create, PandaPowerSauce episodes, and soon-to-be E.X.E files, and all future series down the line will not contain swearing of any kind. If you've also had a keen eye, you might have seen this coming, as pretty much since last Pandaren update, you might have noticed that things like Minecraft Challenge and minigame videos have started to slowly go down and down and down in terms of swearing. And as the more recent minigame video, the Battle Collab, there was no swearing. I basically just slowly weaned it down over the last 3 months to where it was nothing. And now, it's gone. ModGear is the only series that'll properly have swearing normally. All other forms of it, it's kid-friendly. This is mainly to help grow the channel, because at this point, I want to grow. I see potential on this platform, and I want to stay on the platform to grow. But the problem here is, again, we got to break out of the YouTube algorithm, so to make kid-friendly content, probably the best way to do that. On to some other stuff. Naturally, the channel description that you see in the About page and maybe on like the search engine is going to change just to accommodate the new content coming to the channel. You know, that's pretty self-explanatory, it's pretty expected. Now, this is another change that's still a bit controversial, but it probably might happen, and that is new channel art and channel logos. So the actual YouTube channel banner, as well as the channel image and little picture, will probably change. Not entirely sure when this is going to change. It might not happen at all, and I'll probably cover it over the course of another Pandaren update if it doesn't happen right at the beginning of the year or not. But most likely they will change. As to what, it's kind of unknown. I originally wanted to change the channel image back to the original dabbing panda, but, you know, that image is super old and I want to try to do something unique. But there's the possibility that it might not change at all. Because, well, as I'll get to in a little bit, there's a reason why it's all space-themed. It might not change at all, but we will see. Either it will go into effect before content really starts kicking back in on the 18th when Minecraft comes back in, or it might not happen at all, and I'll rediscuss it again when it gets to a Pandaren update, which the next one will be in March of next year. The other big thing is an actual dedicated video outro is going to be coming in for all major videos of next year. Now, ModGear, on the other hand, will not have this specific video outro, because ModGear will have its own specific outro, which we'll get to in before the show here in a couple weeks. This particular Pandaren update, it's not going to have it because I'd rather just keep it a surprise. So when Let's Talk Before the Show start premiering, you'll see that outro. But let's just say it's good. It's good, I'll keep it that. And I've wanted to make an actual proper video outro. As for like an actual channel intro for videos, don't really think I need an intro. I can just like explain stuff pretty simply. I mean, if I have midgets, I'm pretty sure saying, "Alright, welcome beautiful people of the internet, I'm joined by these 3 midgets in the back, please say hello midgets." I'm pretty sure that's a good intro, let's be honest here. So going back to the collab thing, collabs are going to try to happen more often. But I want people that are actually willing to play Minecraft normally. I want people that actually play Minecraft more often on their channel than other stuff. If someone mains Fortnite, you know, get out of here. It's abomination of the human race. Don't want your filth near my channel, basically. Not 100% sure who I'd collab with, but hopefully sometime next year, we'll at least get one. We're going to at least try to get at least one collab in, maybe another 1 or 2. We will see. So just count on it. There will at least be 1 or 2 collabs next year. So, huzzah. Now, this is going to be a weird one to say that there's actually going to be fewer videos going out in 2021 compared to 2020. The reason is simply just in the amount of content. 2021 is essentially meant to be the quiet year. As mentioned in Pandaren Update in September, I said that the last 3 months, basically from now all the way back to September, was considered the quiet period, a section of the channel's life where not a lot of content's going out. 2021 as a whole is essentially the quiet period, because there's just not a lot going out. To put it, here's a good way to think about it. If you go back to the first half of this year, seeing 3 videos a year was, not a year, yeah. Seeing 3 videos a week was pretty common, especially when PandaPowerSauce episodes in ModGear and Minecraft were all premiering for a solid 3 months together. Seeing 3 videos a week was pretty common in the first 6 months of the year. But going into 2021, seeing 3 videos a week is almost going to be non-existent. And it might only happen maybe like once or twice, maybe 3 or 4 times in the entire year. 2 videos a week is essentially going to be the max that we really ever get to next year. And there's a couple reasons why next year is such a quiet year compared to this year. The first is simply due to just school, like school as a whole. I've said it numerous times, I'll say it again. Being a third-year high school student isn't easy. And it's one of the biggest reasons why ModGear is scheduled to go out in May and not in February, like the Season 2 was, because the state ACT tests and all that, they're in February. And it's like, I don't want to have to prepare a series right then. Besides that, later on next year, I'll be starting my last year in high school, and I don't really want major series like ModGear premiering through them. I want to take my time. I want to just not upload too much, because I don't want to have it get in the way of other forms of stuff I like to do. Like, I've said it numerous times too. Play World of Warcraft. I'm a raid leader. I lead raids. Like, I gotta have time for that. I don't mean, as cringe as it sounds, I want to have time for that. And trying to make as many videos as I was doing in the first 6 months of the year just isn't gonna work. It's just not gonna work making that much content. That's mainly the reason why next year is such a quiet, calm, and tame year compared to 2020. Because I want to make sure I have time for everything else. I want to make sure that I'm not killing myself to make 3 videos a week every 2 weeks. I don't want to do that. I said it before, the first 6 months of this year, absolute train wreck trying to make all those videos. They went out, but at the cost of a lot of free time. I want to have that free time. I want to be able to log on to World of Warcraft and do stuff without feeling like I have to get off within 30 minutes to make and work on videos. I want to go play Minecraft with friends without having to worry about making extra videos and content. That was really the problem this year. As I think that's the biggest negative about a large majority of this year. Free time was a massive concern. And next year I'm going to try to make it so that I have free time with fewer videos, but better videos. And that's the biggest problem. Well, not the biggest problem, but the biggest thing about next year. The videos themselves are going to be better, but they're going to come in fewer numbers. Now, one of the other things that I want to talk about is actually regarding space content, just kind of as a whole. As you've seen from trailers, the Universal 5 and Discover and Create are Space Engine X Universe Sandbox series. And let's be honest here, space content, by the time 2021 comes to its close, will have been running on this channel for almost half a decade. It's pretty crazy to think that. But, as I would say, all good things do have to come to an end at some point. And it's because of that after 2021 comes to its close, all space content will leave the channel. Because I just don't want to have space content premiering now that it feels so old. But what will come to replace it? Well, we'll cover that when trailers premiere sometime in next year in 2021, but just savor the space content, because it's gonna leave eventually. Man, that was a lot of stuff for, all the changes coming to next year. So now, get into the goals. What are the goals of next year? Because I do have a lot of goals, and I want to make some big goals for next year so that I can actually do and work towards something. So, goal number 1, just reach 200 subscribers. We didn't gain... I know we hit 100 subscribers this year, but let's be honest, we started this year at around 85 to 90. So in reality, we only gained around 30 to 40 subscribers this year, which, again, isn't bad, considering how weird this channel's growth has been the last few years. But I want to try to get as close to 200 or past it as humanly possible. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2, to raise the view counts, to get them higher. Our view counts right now, they're kind of averaging around 20 to 30. Well, I want to try to raise them, maybe 30 to 40, maybe 40 to 50, who knows? Just to raise them, to get more people watching these videos, to get my face known, to get out of the YouTube algorithm, to actually, make content for the world, because not a lot of people are seeing this stuff, man. And finally, the last major goal is just improve my videos. Make them better. Make videos better, edit them better, and make them come out better than they were ever before. And you're definitely going to see that next year, and I'm definitely learning a lot more about these videos, and I'm definitely learning a lot more about these softwares and using all of their tools. I want to make these videos better, and that's really one of my biggest goals next year, just to make them better. But with that kind of just concludes everything. It's weird, we've been going for well over a half hour now. This is probably the longest video on this channel, probably, maybe. So, where do we go from here? To conclude 2020 on a good note, this year has been the best year this channel has had almost maybe ever. Well, it probably ever. This year has been the biggest in terms of growth. It's been the biggest in terms of series, in terms of episodes, in terms of videos, in terms of fun, excitement. I have never wanted to work on this platform more than I wanted to this year, because I finally have the will to make videos. As I said back in April of last year, in 2019, in the comeback of the Pandaren century, I said that, imagine a candle. The candle is lit, it's burning, its flames burning. This acts like a spark. The spark is the will to create videos. the inspiration to create videos. The idea of, I want to make videos, and I don't want to stop making videos. If that flame was to burn out, the will is gone. The desire, the inspiration, the will, or anything like that to create the videos is gone. And that's why there was a 9-month break before that, and there was a 4-month break leading up to the start of 2020. It's because the flame was gone. Throughout the entirety of this year, that flame has been lit, and it's burning. Brighter and brighter. And going into next year, it's still going. It's still burning. It's still burning brighter and brighter, and I want to make sure that it never goes out. Moving into 2021, while there might be fewer videos going out next year, the videos themselves, they're going to be better. They're going to be bigger, better than ever before. They're just going to come out in fewer numbers. Again, you can check out all of the major links, the trailers that are for content next year. They're on the channel homepage. Hopefully I'll remember to leave a link up to them all down in the description. You can check out Twitter in the description. You can check out all of that stuff down there as well. I'm really excited for next year. I'm amazed. I'm amazed that we managed to get through this year without some kind of break. And that kind of that really surprises me. This is the first year we've been on the channel a full 12 months without a break since 2017. It's crazy to think that. But I guess the outro, I guess. So thank you all for everything. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this entire journey this year. Thank you for supporting ModGear Season 2. Thank you for supporting Minecraft and PandaPowerSauce episodes and all the videos that come out. For 100 subscribers, for continuing to comment, for continuing to like, for continuing to support this channel throughout all the crap that we've gone through the last few years. I think 2020 was definitely worth the wait. And to leave on a good note, 2020 is going to be good. Again, even though there might be fewer videos, that doesn't mean 2020 will still be as big as 2020, at least in terms of hype. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching this Pandaren update. If you want to check out some other stuff, make sure you go follow me on Twitter. You'll be able to see Let's Talk before the shows here in the coming weeks. And I'll make sure to see you guys back on January 4th, since I'm going to be gone for a week and a half. I'll see you guys back on January 4th with the very first videos of the year with Let's Talk before the shows. And when content starts premiering on January 18th, just be wary, because we're going to kick off the year on a really good note. But anyway, that's it. It feels weird ending the last video of the year. It feels really weird. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for supporting me throughout the entirety of this year, and pretty much since maybe when you subscribed. My name is PandaPowerSauce. Remember to stay saucy. You guys have a wonderful Christmas. Happy New Year's to all of you, and I'll see you guys again on January 4th with the return of content. Remember to stay saucy, and I'll see you guys soon. Later.